Good morning, everybody. I've been pretty busy with the election campaign, so I thought this morning I'd try something different, a kind of daily diary of Hungary in the run-up to this election, perhaps after it as well. I'm up on Gellert Hill. It's a beautiful spring morning, and I'd like to say a few things this morning about truth. Three things came up in the last day or so about truth, which I thought I'd share with you. One is, I was talking to Zoltán Kisseli, an old conversation partner, acquaintance, friend even, from the Fidesz side. He works for the Század Vég polling agency. He said to me something pretty interesting, which is, we, the Fidesz side, don't actually believe in the polls anymore, the opinion polls. We don't believe in the opposition opinion polls. We don't even believe in our own. That struck me as pretty interesting. I put that to one of his rivals from the other side of the political spectrum, to Endre Han of the Median polling agency. He said he pointed out that the Prime Minister himself said something similar the other day at one of his rallies. And for him, for Endre Han, it's a kind of post-truth nonsense, really, that you're trying to undermine the idea that there is actually any truth out there, that someone might be right or someone might be wrong, just throwing a lot of mud in people's eyes so that you can get away with anything, I suppose. And then this morning I woke up to a pretty interesting post on Facebook by someone called Adam Nagy. It's a reflection on the strange phenomenon of Gundalf, the 19, probably now 20-year-old young Hungarian cyber expert who was tracked by the Hungarian intelligence services, finally raided with another figure called Buddha, who we don't quite know who he is yet. But to cut a long story short, many of you watching this will know the rest of the story. Gundalf was interrogated by one of the Hungarian secret services and questioned, rather. A conversation, I think they described it as, and then, even though it was top secret, the government proceeded to declassify it and then put it on YouTube as proof, they said, that the man, the 19-year-old cyber expert Gundalf, had actually confessed to spying for Ukraine. The story took an even more interesting twist on Monday when Gundalf came forward and gave a video interview to 444, another Hungarian news site, in which he declared happily that his name is actually Daniel Hrabotski and that he scammed the intelligence service by deliberately planting untrue elements in that interrogation, knowing that the governing party would edit it, take extracts from it and try and use it in their election campaign. This is pretty confusing for a lot of us, and Adam Nagy on Facebook this morning tried to unravel it a little. I'd like to read an English translation of Adam Nagy's post on Facebook, because it's all about truth, which is what I've climbed Gellert Hill this morning to talk to you about. So here we go. Why is a 19-year-old lying to the Secret Service? And why is it one of the most dangerous and powerful mindsets of the future? There is a 19-year-old boy, not a celebrity, not a politician, not an activist. He's a young cybersecurity enthusiast who suddenly finds himself in a situation where the system, let's call it, wants to talk to him. Unofficially, not under oath, just a coffee. God knows we all like coffee. And what does he do? He does not defend himself. He doesn't keep quiet. He doesn't try to comply. He knowingly lies. Not because he's stupid, it's because he's not. Most people get stuck here. Classical thinking says, this is stupid, this is dangerous, this is not allowed. But if you go one level deeper, you realize This is not a rebellion. This is strategy. It's how you win in today's multiplayer video games. This guy is not answering questions. He's rewriting the rules of the game. Generation Z, and that includes a 19-year-old, Generation Z, I think we call it in English, no longer grew up in a world where information was rare. They've grown up in a world where there's too much information. As a journalist, I can certainly confirm that. And the big question is not what is true, but who controls the truth. When this guy lies, he's not really lying. He's manipulating the input. In his mind, it looks like this. If I give the information, I control the output. And if I know that it can be used against me later, then I put a bug into the system before I do. This is not a moral issue. No. This is systems thinking. In the cybersecurity world, it's called an exploit. This guy is doing exactly that. You find a weakness in the system and exploit it. This guy's doing exactly that, only not on a server, but in a communication situation. To him, interrogation is not a symbol of power, but a system that can be tested, hacked, and played with. And here's the thing. He's not afraid of the system. He sees it all as a playground. One of the most glaring characteristics of Generation Z, Adam Nodge continues in this Facebook post this morning, is that it does not automatically respect authority. Not because they're rebellious, but because it hasn't learned to accept it. They've seen deep fakes, manipulated news, influencer marketing, and political narratives 1,000 times before on a daily basis, so they've developed a reflex. What they say may not be true, and if it may not be true, it can be played. This guy won't let it be defined. He doesn't let a system write his story. He says, if there's going to be a narrative about me, then I can choose what goes in it, even if it means lying up front so I can debunk the lie later. This is not a defense. It's a proactive control. And here's the most important difference between the generations. Previous generations asked, what is the truth? Young people now ask, who is writing the story? I'll repeat that. Young people now ask, who is writing the story? And if they don't like the answer, they don't object, they don't withdraw, they rewrite it. Of course, this is dangerous, because if every system can be played and played, then stability disappears. If all narratives can be manipulated, it becomes difficult to distinguish between true and false. But it's also incredibly powerful, because this thinking creates the best hackers, the best strategists, the best communicators. This thinking doesn't follow rules, it understands and rewrites systems. And if you look at it through mentor eyes, this guy is not a problem. This guy is brute force. 19-year-old guy who looks a bit like Harry Potter. A mind that thinks several steps ahead, who doesn't react but plans, who doesn't fear but tests. The question is not whether what he is doing is right. The question is who teaches him what to do with that ability, because it has no small potential, and like all swords, it's a double-edged weapon. This generation will not adapt to the old rules, Adam Nodge concludes. They're writing new rules, and if you don't understand them, it's not that you can't lead them, it's that you won't notice when they are already leading you. So, a few thoughts on truth this morning on a very sunny day, spring morning, overlooking Budapest.